Hey there, thanks for joining me to color. Today we're going to be working on this adorable Whimsy Stamps image called Birthday Beauty. Isn't she just too adorable? This is a card kit, so I'll put a link to that down in the description box in case you would like to pick one up and color along with me. I really appreciate you shopping with me. We're starting out by doing our C0 completely around the outside of our image to give it a little bit of a shadow. I like to do it first so I don't have to worry about moving anything around. Next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do our skin. For that, we're going to use E21, E00, E51 to add some yellow to that. And then for our cheeks, we're going to use R20 and 30. And for our lips, we're going to use the R20 a couple of times just to pink them up. I like this skin tone. I don't always use it all the time, but I do like to switch it up every once in a while and use this one instead of my regular one. This adds a little bit of a yellowish cast instead of the peachy one I usually use. So in case you want to change it up, this is a quick, easy way to do it by adding just a different color in there at the end. So I usually go over with my dark color and then I add a little bit of my medium color over the top of that, or fill in some of the spaces, at least for our arms, because they're not that big, so I'm just filling it in. And then I take my E51 and I swipe over the entire area and give it a little bit of yellow, and it also helps blend things together. For her face here, her bangs are kind of wispy, so I'm just kind of streaking it in to where her face is at, and then I'm adding a little dash for her nose. I'm kind of avoiding right there close to her eye because we don't want to color in her pupil, we want it to be white. And then I didn't fill her entire face in, I left a little bit of white on the cheeks for later. We'll come in with some R20, and I keep that closer to the edges, and then I soften those edges with my R30, and then I come back and I'm just going to do the skin tones for a second coat. And remember to be careful going around those eyes so you don't fill in the white area that's close to the black circle. E51 over the entire thing. I wasn't worried about swiping over her lips because I'm going to go ahead and color those in. So if I got a little bit of my E51 on there, it was no big deal. I'm just coming back here and adding a little bit more pink on her cheeks, and then I'm adding a little bit of pink on her lips to pinken them up. Next, we're going to do her hair. So for that, we're going to use E19, E35, and E13. I like to do my darkest color first, so I'm just doing a couple little flicks in there away from where the ponytails are attached with a little ribbon. And then I'm doing a few little streaks up here closest to where her bangs come away from her forehead. I'm going to come in and I'm going to do the same thing with E35, just a few little flicks in a different area than where I laid down the E19. And I'm not being really careful where her ponytails are because that is kind of streaky in there, and I'm just kind of filling in some extra blank areas. So if I'm not within the lines, I don't really care about that. And then I'm coming back with my E19 and I'm kind of adding a few more little streaks in there in a different section, maybe making them a little bit longer so they stand out a little bit more. I really like that hair color. So next we're going to go ahead and we're going to work on her dress. So for that we're going to use R56, R85, RV34, and then R32. I was trying to match my paper that I'm going to use when I put the card together, so I always start with that first. I pick up a paper and then I try to go with some kind of colors that are going to match that. So I went in and I added my darkest tone first, and then I added R85 next. Now I'm going over it with R35, and then I'm filling it in with R32. Then I decided I needed to darken it up just a little bit more, so I'm coming back with my R85, and then I'm going over it with my RV34, and then again with my RV32. We're going to do the same thing down here on our skirt. So I'm using the R56 to do the little pleats. So I'm going down the left side of all these little lines that are already on her skirt. And then this one's on the left, and then we're going to switch over to the right on this side. And then I'm going to thicken my lines with R85. So I'm thickening them and I'm making a little bit longer. And we're just going right down the side. And it's not going to look very attractive when you with this first coat, but we're going to add a second coat, so I'm not worried that it's looking a little streaky and straggly. Next we'll add a thicker coat of RV34, and we're just going to make those, again, extend those lines a little bit and thicken them up. And I'm leaving some white space there so that we can use that as our highlight with our lightest color. And again, don't worry if it looks streaky because we're going to come back over it. Now we're going to use our RV32. We're going to fill in some of those areas, and look, it's not looking that fabulous. And I'm not really worried if I went over any of the ribbon or those little beads that are coming down the front of her dress, because we are going to go ahead and color the ribbon black, and we're going to do some gold Spica paint pen or some white paint pen over the top of those little dots to highlight them later. Here I'm just coming in with my second coat. We're kind of straightening up some of these little jagged edges. Adding that second coat really helps you to blend some stuff together and smooth out some of that area. Then we'll come in and we'll fill the entire dress in here with our RV32. And it's still not going to look fabulous there in the front, so I'll probably come back after I do the skirt. I'm going to let it dry a little bit and see how it looks, but I'm going to finish the bottom part first. So we're going to use those same colors, and we're just going to add some darker areas on our skirt or our underskirt. Wherever you think it dips in is where I'm adding my little shadows in there. We're going to come in with R85, and we're going to flick on each side of our R56. A little bit of softening there, and don't worry, because again we're going to go over it a second time, so if it's not perfect it's not going to matter, because we're going to soften it with our second coat. We'll come in here and add RV34. Sorry, my hair is getting in the way there, I got a little too close. I don't know about you, but I tend to put my head right over the top of my work when I'm coloring and get super duper close. So we're going to come in with our second coat of R85, and again this helps just soften some stuff up. And usually when I come back with my second coat, I go just a little bit past where I left it the last time, so that it will have, it'll soften it even more. And it seems to be a little bit easier for me to blend stuff if it's softened out. Now I'm coming in with my R56, and I popped the other end of my cap off because it was kind of juicy, and I was afraid I was going to make one of those big blobs on my paper, so I just popped the other end off, and then I don't have to worry about it. And here I'm just coming back in and darkening up those lines for my R56 the first time. Now we're going to add some grays. So let's go ahead and do W8, W6, and W4. I'm going to use W8 to color all the ribbons in, nothing fancy, just do a quick little swipe over all those little spots. If it seems kind of daunting to do that, you could also use your Copic multi-liner to do any of those because they're pretty skinny. You can also use your Spica black glitter pen to do those. I think that would be really pretty, and then you wouldn't have to do the sparkles at the end. We're going to go ahead and do our sash. I did a little line across the middle and a little line at the bottom. And we're just softening those with our next two colors. Turned out perfect. And here I forgot our hair, so I'm just adding some E19 to that. And then right there on her shoulder, I missed a little patch of her skin for her arm, so I just filled that in. For our W8 on our lower bloom, we're going to outline it, and then I'm going to do a little C. Kind of gets fatter there in the middle. And then I'll come over that with my W6. And then we'll add W4. And then I come back with my second coat and soften that just a little bit more. And again, I go over where I went over it the first time, just a tad, so that it will soften those edges a little bit more. When I got close to the second balloon, I made sure to pull my pen towards the bottom of the balloon so that I didn't have to worry about coloring on my balloon, since we're going to color it red. So that we're going to use R14, R32, and RV42. We're going to quickly do this little rose here, nothing fancy. Put in some dark shadows with your R14, go over a little bit with the R32, and then brush over the whole thing with RV42. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to go up here to our balloon, and like we did with our black balloon, we're going to use our R14. We're going to outline the lower half of our balloon, and then we're going to swipe away from that line and give it a little C. Then we're going to come in with R32, and I decided I was going to go around the outside of the balloon again, and then we'll go ahead and give it a second swipe with our RV42, and then we'll come in with our darker coat, and I decided I didn't like the way it looked, so I went ahead and outlined the entire thing with my R14. Then I come in with my R32 and fill in that a little bit more, and then I'm going to go in with my RV42 and brush over the entire balloon. And from there I swipe over from the bottom to the top just so that it'll fill it all the way in. Then I'm going to finish my card up with some Spica glitter pens and my Sakura white jelly roll pen to add some pretty sparkles on there. And then I also put some Wink of Stella brush clear glitter on the top of my balloons to give them some sparkle. I hope you had fun coloring today. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to hit the little bell next to the subscription button so you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video, and there will be plenty more to come. If you have a question, make sure and leave me a comment down below and I will make sure to get back to you. You can also go find the real-time video and you can watch me put the card together if you're interested in that, or you can go to the store blog and check it out. There's a link down in the description box. I hope you're having a fabulous day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.